Welcome to the France 24 Observers, the show that's based on our network of ordinary people who are our eyes and ears around the world. We begin today in Libya, in a mountain range deep in the Sahara Desert. It is home to ancient rock paintings. Some of them date back as far as 14,000 years. They're considered a World Heritage Site by the United Nations, but they're being defaced by graffiti. And with the country still in chaos 2.5 years after the overthrow of Muammar Gaddafi, things are getting worse.
Before the war, the Tadra Akris region was a big draw for tourists. But today, things are too unstable in Libya, and the site is deserted. There are some people who commit acts of vandalism out of sheer ignorance, and there are others who do it because they want to destroy the site. Some of them draw on the paintings themselves. Some carve their names beside them. But some use chemicals specifically to make the paintings disappear. It's usually hunters who are responsible, people who come to the region to hunt, and unfortunately it's a Libyan habit to carve your name or your hometown when you visit somewhere. It's a way of saying you were there. The site is in the Sahara, close to the western border. The army patrols the region, but it's hard for them to be everywhere. There aren't enough soldiers, and they're under-equipped. They check on the paintings every 2 weeks, and each time they find new acts of vandalism. Libya's historical sites are in grave danger. I'm not just talking about sites that are out in the desert. In the north, in the coastal zone, monuments are threatened too. Even if the security situation in the country gets better, we won't be able to get tourism going again because the site's been damaged so badly. If things carry on like this, they're going to disappear altogether, and that would be a loss for all of humanity.
Now to the United States, another desert border zone, this time between the state of Arizona and Mexico. More and more teenagers are making the dangerous crossing, risking their lives to get to the United States. Our observer helps run a soup kitchen on the Mexican side of the border, where he meets the teens as they embark on their journey.
You know, when I first started going there 4 years ago, there was almost never unaccompanied minor in the 14 or 15-year-old range. Last Thursday, there were 5 minors. Most of them were from Honduras. A few were from Guatemala. Most of the young folks that are coming from Central America, especially Honduras, they're coming out of desperation. If a young man stays in Honduras, his options are to get involved with the mafia or live in extreme poverty. I don't think they realize completely how dangerous it's going to be. Crossing the desert doesn't seem like a big obstacle to them. The previous year, 181 known people died in the Arizona desert. We feed on the average of 70 to 80 migrants every day. We give them information about how to find water in the desert. We give them some information about what to look for if they are in distress and want to call the Border Patrol. But our goal is to provide people with some information so they can make their own choices.
Now for our weekly roundup of other stories and images sent in by our observers. First stop, Dakar in Senegal. A few weeks ago, we told you about a plan to build a new embassy building for Turkey right on the shore. Locals say it will block their access to the beach. They tried to hold a peaceful sit-in to show their opposition. But as you can tell from this video sent in by our observer, things didn't go as planned. The authorities didn't give permission and broke up the demonstration using tear gas. The protest groups are planning to file a complaint. Next, Moscow, the Shabalovka radio tower. It was built in the 1920s for the glory of the young Soviet state. They didn't have enough materials to make it as tall as the Eiffel Tower, but it's seen as a marvel of engineering nevertheless, prized by architects. Now it is under threat, though. Closed to the public, it doesn't generate any income, and the authorities want to dismantle it and move it outside the city. Locals have launched a protest using selfies to get attention. They say that dismantling the tower would damage it irreparably. Last stop, Saudi Arabia, and a dance craze known as Raqsat al-Batrik, or the penguin dance. A cross between the conga and the bunny hop, it's taken the country by storm, seen in playgrounds, at weddings and online. The Saudis, as we know, are very active on YouTube. Now, no one knows where the dance came from. One popular blogger says Finland, while a man in Albania says he's the one who invented it, though he doesn't say just how it got to the desert kingdom. That's it for this week. As always, you can find more reports from our observers on our website, on our Facebook and Twitter pages, and on our apps for mobiles. See you next time.